Hey y'all, this is Kiley from Wild Lemon Fitness. Thanks so much for joining us in our online studio. Let's work out. Today we're gonna be finding your core. So if you've ever been doing crunches for 20 minutes and feeling like, why does my neck hurt, but I don't feel this in my abdominals? It's because we're not activating the correct muscles or the appropriate muscles. So today we're gonna wake up some deep core muscles and you're gonna feel the difference. This is a perfect video to do before you do a full bar video or Pilates video, just to really fire up that core before you go on a run, and you'll feel the difference. So let's get started with some diaphragmatic breathing. I like to place my hands along the sides of my rib cage here, really find those ribs. You can close your eyes, slide those shoulders down and back, soft knees. Take a big inhale, and I want you expanding out into the side body. And on the exhale, knit those ribs together. Feel those shoulders lift when you inhale. And on the exhale, knit. Let's do 3 or 4 of these. Really finding the breath. Joseph Pilates was a boxer, and so he always wanted to preach using this diaphragmatic breath because he wanted you to pull your abdominals in and still be able to take a punch, but still be able to breathe. So imagine that, keeping your core tight. We're not breathing into the belly, we're breathing only into the ribs. Big inhale, exhale to knit. And take as many of these as you need. This is great to practice throughout the day to just really wake up and fully expand into those lungs. We're gonna keep that breath work going throughout our abdominal series. The next thing we're gonna do is find your psoas. Psoas is one of the most important muscles in the body. It connects your torso to your legs, and it runs from your low back, wraps around to your inner thighs. So most often, if you've got chronically tight hamstrings or a tight back, a lot of times it's a weak psoas or a tight psoas that needs to be released. So today we're gonna reach for our hip bones, kind of find your hips, and then you're gonna fingertip walk in, maybe an inch closer to your belly button along that pelvic ridge, and we're gonna dig in there. It should be a little bit tender. That's your psoas. So I'm gonna come down to the mat, and we're gonna keep contact with that psoas, lowering all the way down, sort of wiggling in, keeping that breath work going, reaching for your psoas muscles. I want you to keep contact there, sort of digging in, and then we're gonna draw that right knee into tabletop, or a little 90 degrees. On the inhale, we're gonna lower that leg, reaching for the mat, and on the exhale, we lift that leg. What you should be feeling here underneath your fingertips is a little muscle popping. You'll feel it's very tender there. And if you need to kind of move around, no body is the same. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. We're gonna draw that right knee all the way into the chest. Extend that left leg long. We're gonna stretch that muscle. So we just warmed it up and activated it. We're gonna give it a little stretch. Maybe wiggle that knee back and forth. And then you're gonna drag that left foot back down to the mat and lower that right foot down to meet it. Wiggle out those hips, pull that low back down to the floor, and find that psoas again. So reach for those hips, fingertip walk in, maybe an inch. All bodies are different. And then draw that left knee into tabletop. On the inhale, we're lowering those toes. On the exhale, we lift. And we should really feel this low abdominals waking up here. Everything's firing. Let's do 5, 4, 2. Good, and that last one, we're gonna draw that left knee in, hug it in close, extend that opposite leg long, Wiggle it out a little bit. This may be the first time you felt an activation in that low abdominal muscle, so it can feel extra tight and tender. So be gentle with yourself. Make sure you're stretching, make sure you're hydrating. And when you're ready, we're gonna bring both knees back into tabletop. So choice is yours. You can keep your fingertips on that psoas if that's what you need to keep yourself accountable, or you can send those hands down to the mat and send that chin back. On the inhale, we're gonna lower both legs. On the exhale, we lift. Really drawing from that core, scooping through the abdominals. You've got 4, 3, 2, and then last one, drawing both knees into the chest, hugging them in close. Oftentimes, what I see a lot in my clients and what most of my life I felt like I was really quad dominant. These large quadricep muscles on the top of your legs have a tendency to want to take over every abdominal exercise that you do. So if you're feeling like you're doing crunches and pulling here and your legs are getting so sore, but you're not waking up that core, that's why we're doing this for you, so that we can really find that work. Bring those knees back into tabletop. This time we're gonna lift into a rib hinge. So we're gonna send those hands up to the ceiling, pull those abdominals in. On the exhale, we're peeling up to that rib hinge, to like that 100 position, and we're just gonna alternate toe taps. So inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Just a couple. I've got a little snapping hip this morning, so disregard that popping. Then draw those knees into the chest, rock out that low back. Nice. I should be feeling a little bit warm here. We're gonna send those feet wide on the mat and windshield wiper out, dropping both knees to the left, then to the right, releasing that low back and those hips. And then we're gonna wake up that transverse abdominis. So we've woken up those lower abdominals here, turned off those quadriceps. And now let's wake up that deepest core muscle that runs along the back of your abdominals. So we're gonna bring both knees into tabletop here and place our hands on our thighs. We're peeling up into this rib hinge. If this feels comfortable in your neck, if not, you can keep your head down. And I'm gonna press my hands into the thighs as I press the thighs back into my hands and take 3 big, deep breaths. Shaking immediately. 2 more breaths. Exhale, bring those knees into your chest. I'm never not surprised by how fast that activates my core. So hopefully you're feeling that burn with me. And we're gonna do that one more time and then go into the 100. So we're only gonna do 50 of the 100 today because this is just about activating your core. We're not gonna do a whole ab series. But let's send those knees back into tabletop. Really anchor that spine. We shouldn't have any arch in that low back. Place those hands on the thighs and peel up to that rib hinge. And then find that resistance. So as I press my hands in, I'm activating underneath my shoulders. And as I draw my thighs in toward my hands, I'm waking up that low core. We're gonna take a few deep breaths here. Big inhales through the nose. Exhales through the mouth. 2 more times. And then draw those knees into your chest. Rock out that low back if it feels nice. I'm gonna rock up to a seated position. You should be feeling nice and activated. This is a great time to go for a run or to try out another one of our videos on the website, maybe our ab series or a Pilates mat video. I think you'll feel the difference. Thanks for joining me.